Hi, welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, we'll make this cute little flower that you can use as decoration. This is another tutorial for absolute beginners, so I hope you find it helpful. The materials we'll need for this tutorial include yarn. I am using 100% acrylic medium weight yarn, a crochet hook. This is a 3.5mm crochet hook, yarn needle, and scissors. And then there's a stitch marker that's optional, but you can also use a paper clip. In this tutorial, we will be using a double magic ring. To make a double magic ring, you want to hold the loose end of the yarn with your 2 fingers like this, and take the working end of the yarn and wrap it around your fingers twice, like this. Once and twice. Now flip your hand over, and you can see there are 2 loops on your fingers. Take the working end of the yarn and crisscross on top of the 2 loops. And use your pinky to grab a hold of that working end of the yarn. I'm going to adjust this yarn a little bit so it's a little bit more clear. Take your hook, place it under the 2 loops on the right and above the yarn on the left, so that you can pull the yarn on the left under the 2 loops on the right. Twist your hook up and pull up a little bit. Now we can start making our chains. So we need to chain 3, and that's 1 chain, 2, 3. We now have 3 chains. If you are a beginner, I would recommend you using a stitch marker to keep track of which one is your 3rd chain. So let's pull this up a little bit. Grab a stitch marker here, and you can see that this one right here is your 3rd chain. On top like this. The stitch marker isn't really necessary, but if you are a beginner, it doesn't really hurt. Next, we are going to make a double crochet. And to make a double crochet, you would need to yarn over once. Insert your hook into this magic ring here. And pull this yarn through this magic ring. And now you can see you have 3 loops on your hook right now. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops here. And here you've just made a double crochet. Now chain 3 again. And if you're a beginner at this point, I would recommend you using a stitch marker to mark your first chain of the chain 3 here. So that would be this chain right here. So again, this is not necessary, but I do think that it could help beginners later down the line. Next, we will need to slip stitch into this magic ring. And to slip stitch into this magic ring, take your hook, insert it into this magic ring, and pull this yarn through the magic ring like this. Now pull that yarn through the loop on your hook as well. And you've just made a slip stitch. Right now we have 1 single petal, and we need to make a total of 5 petals. So let's do another petal together, and then you can make the rest on your own. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, make a double crochet, chain 3 again, and slip stitch into this magic ring. As you can see, we have 2 petals now, and for this project we will need a total of 5 petals. So let's make the other 3 on our own, and we will meet back here when we have 5 petals. And now we have a total of 5 petals, and we can start to close our magic ring. So let's pull this yarn out a little bit. And to close this double magic ring, you want to start pulling on this loose end a little bit slowly. And as you're pulling on that end, you can see that there's a loop here that's closing in a little bit tighter. And that's this loop here, and you want to start grabbing on and tightening this loop instead. So let's now, I do want to emphasize, don't close this loop completely yet. You want to leave a little bit space in there. As you can see, I've left a little bit of a space here for us to work in the next round. And just like that, we have completed our first round. Now for the next round, we are going to start off with chain 3 as well. Insert your hook into the third chain of the chain 3 we made in round 1. So we have a stitch marker here, but if we want to count it ourselves, we can see this is 1 stitch, this is 2, and then this is the third chain. So first chain, second chain, third chain. And we want to insert our hook into this third chain here. So let's remove our stitch marker. And take the hook, insert it into this third chain that we just had our stitch marker, and make a single crochet in here. Pull this yarn through, yarn over, and pull through both loops like that. Now we're going to make a picot stitch, chain 1. Now we want to insert it into these 2 stitches here. You guys can see that. So insert it into this and this, yarn over, pull that through these 2 stitches here, and slip stitch like that. And you've just made a picot stitch. The next thing is we want to skip our double crochet stitch. So this right here was the double crochet stitch we made, and we want to skip this stitch here. So we're skipping this one and inserting our hook into the chain right next to it, which is this one right here. And for this first petal, we marked with our stitch marker, but we can see we're skipping this stitch and inserting it into this chain. Take your hook, insert into this chain here, and make a single crochet like this. Next, chain 3. And slip stitch into this middle. Here we can see we have already completed a petal, and we just need to complete the next 4 petals as well. So let's do another one together. We're going to start off by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to find the third chain in the chain 3 from the first round. So let's try to see without the stitch marker here. This is the first chain right here. It's kind of hidden. This is a second chain, and then this is a third chain right here. So if you're not really sure, this is the double crochet, and this is the stitch associated with that double crochet stitch right there, and you want to use the one on the right here. Insert the hook into this stitch right here and make a single crochet stitch. Now chain 1, make a picot stitch by taking this hook, inserting it into these 2 stitches right here, taking this yarn through these 2 stitches, and slip stitch out like that. Next we need to find that double crochet stitch again right here, this one right here, and this stitch, and we want to skip this stitch and insert our hook into the chain next to it. So we're skipping this one and inserting it into this one right here, making a single crochet and chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch into the middle here. And just like that, we have completed another petal. Now we need to do the same for the rest of the petals, and I will meet you guys back here when you're done with those petals. Okay, now I'm done with all the petals, and I can pull the yarn out a little bit, cut off this, pull this yarn through. Now we can tighten this up. Now we can sew in the ends. And now you're done with your little flower. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I will see you guys next time.